Happy Friday afternoon. I'm Colette Linden.
And I'm Dani Dupuis. Welcome to the special report.
So we have a very hectic day today, very hectic schedule. Quickly, we are going to talk about the online dance parties. Dani and I have some information on that. We can rock out together. We are going to talk about the White House and what's going on with 3M, North 82. And we have Chris, and we have the cutest little picture of the cutest little guy in London, Ontario. But I'm going to throw over to Dani to take it from here.
Thank you very much. Well, you mentioned North 82. I just spoke with them. Recently just reopened last week. They'll be offering pickup delivery services from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you know what? I spoke with Hillary, who's the server there. They're doing phenomenal.
That's awesome.
The customers are so happy that they're open and they're getting all their favorite people back. It's really great. And Mike, the owner, has been walking 34 kilometers a day. Insane, completely insane. I mean, I haven't even ran that far yet. But we're going to throw it over to Chris for some COVID updates.
Thank you very much. So I just finished an interview with Councillor Matthew Shoemaker. It'll be on my show tonight at 7 p.m. You'll also be able to hear that interview on Spotify as a podcast as well. In my segment today, I'm going to look at what we just found out from the Ontario government in terms of modeling for COVID-19 and where we can go from there. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Chris. I should also mention we had the privilege to sit down with the mayor this morning, and we will be throwing to that interview. The interview was quite lengthy, Dani, so I think what we should do is maybe spread it out to segments throughout next week too. But it will be on the newscast as well as this afternoon. So I just quickly wanted to say something, and then I'm going to throw it to Dani to update everybody. But I want to show you a little picture and get ready for some cuteness overload of Mr. Maverick McCauley. Maverick and his mommy, Christina, his dad, Brad, they're in London. There he is. Aww. If you can't go to the park, the caption says, teach him how to drive. So hello to the family, little baby brother Memphis and Uncle Michael and his amazing grandparents, Mike and Rose Esposito. My family, I love you. Over to Dani.
Oh my God, that's so cute. You know what a great idea. I mean, if one cop drove past that, there might be some questions, but that's awesome. I would definitely, I'd put, you know what, I might put my dog in the window.
You should.
Let my dog drive. Actually, I saw the other day a pit bull was caught driving a car, and then there was a police chase with it.
Cut it out right now.
I'm not even kidding you. I looked at it. I looked at my dog, and I was like, "You better not pull that." I was like, "Don't do that." But in local news right now too, I mean, we see the community coming together. You've seen Starbucks, what they're doing. They're delivering coffee to everyone. Speaking with the manager Amanda, and she's sending me all these amazing videos of even customers saying, thank you so much for being open. It really makes my day to talk to your staff. So you know what, that's awesome. And it's people talking to different people, not the family you've been stuck with in quarantine for the past little bit. I mean, no offense, Mom, I'm kind of getting tired of talking to you.
But you're having a pizza party tonight.
We are. Oh my gosh. Second pizza party. Yeah. We also had the chance to speak with Ofra again, and Guy's Auto reached out and donated some masks as well. So everyone,
they're on Great Northern Road.
Yes, yeah, actually not too far away from us. But we talk about the community coming together and the strength behind it too. I mean, Local Sioux, I've been here for 25 years, and to say and to see it firsthand what everyone is doing, it's just phenomenal. Even with the Easter egg hunt, I went for a run the other day. I counted 68 houses with Easter eggs.
I should take the little guides up.
No, it's so, honestly, it's so cool, and it just, I can't help but smile when I see it, because it's just so interesting to see. It's neat, and all the different designs that people are doing right now too. It's just it's crazy.
Oh, thanks, Dani. One other update we wanted to say is just about MP Terry Sheehan. He's been a great supporter of Sioux Online and on TV. He on Thursday's business call hosted by City of Sault Ste. Marie, which again the mayor does talk about in our interview that you'll see later, has taken significant and decisive action to support Canadians and businesses facing the hardships as a result of COVID-19. So we just wanted to thank Terry Sheehan for all the work that he's doing on behalf of Sault Ste. Marie and keep it up. So we, like I said, we got to sit to the mayor today, did a good 20-minute interview. We are going to cut to a couple questions that we asked the mayor. And again, we will show out the segment this afternoon and on Monday as well. I hope you enjoy your message from the mayor. Sioux Online and On TV have teamed up with Sault Ste. Marie's Chamber of Commerce to help our local businesses affected by COVID-19. On the special report that we air at 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. daily, we highlight local businesses and how they're keeping together to keep the community together. For today's hashtag In This Together SSM, we are privileged to have our Mayor, Christian Provenzano, join us. Hello, Mayor. How are you today?
Well, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to everybody. Appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we appreciate you taking your time. We know you're busy. We know you've got lots on the go. But first off, let me ask you, how are you coping, not only as mayor, but as a father and a husband? How is your family handling this? Because I'm sure you're busy trying to keep the city calm, but has anybody asked you how you and your family are doing?
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. So my wife and my 3 little girls are all doing really well. We're, I think, ending 3 weeks now that my wife really hasn't left the house very much, and my little girls haven't seen either sets of grandparents or socialized outside of our little family unit. So, they're getting a little antsy, but we're grateful and we're blessed, and they're all doing well, and we're focused on making sure that that they're safe. All I'm doing myself is taking care of my family and coming to City Hall when I need to be here. I closed our law office to the public over 3 weeks ago, and we're going to keep it closed for the next couple weeks just to assess how things are going. So look, things are good, and I'm focused entirely on my job here at City Hall and making sure we get the message out that we need to get out to the community.
Well, that's as you know, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is holding a press conference today to release more data, saying it would serve as a wake-up call for some Ontario residents. Right now, we have 6 reported cases in Algoma. What are your expectations for Sault Ste. Marie after this press conference? As I imagine, it's going to stir some fear, or perhaps some anxiety in our residents, as well as do you have any further plans to take action to keep our numbers low in the city?
So look, what we're going to do is we're going to, pay attention to what the Premier is saying like everybody else. And I want to recognize the Premier for his work during this crisis. I think it's been good work. But I think it's important that we have that information. And I think it'll be some pretty sobering data. But I would encourage people not to react in a panic way to that data. What I'd encourage people to do is learn about COVID-19. And they can do that at Algoma Public Health. And then I would encourage them to do 2 things. The first thing is understand and respect your legal obligations. There's a federal quarantine order, and if you are traveling into the country from outside of the country, whether that's Michigan or whether that is anywhere else in the United States or Europe or the world, if you're coming back into Canada, it is law. You must self-isolate. So we need to make sure people know that. And if people are breaking that law, we need to make sure that the authorities know that so we can enforce that law. So that's step 1. The second step is you have to learn about what the COVID-19 symptoms are. And if you have those symptoms, you have to recognize that you are required to self-isolate. So it's important that you understand what self-isolation means and is. If you have COVID-19 symptoms, self-isolation doesn't mean you stay at home and you go out for walks. Self-isolation means you stay in your house and you isolate. If you don't have COVID-19 symptoms, we still want you to stay home. But if you have to go out, you should practice physical distancing. So that means that you don't interact with anybody outside of your immediate family, and you keep 2 meters of distance between you and anybody that you might have an interaction with. You minimize your trips to the grocery store and the drugstore, and you try and minimize the number of people in your household that will be making those trips. So we need to get those messages out. We need to make sure that we're all doing the same things. The federal government has a quarantine order. The provincial government has a number of orders on essential businesses and non-essential businesses and social gatherings. The Premier made an order that there's no social or public gatherings over 5 people. And we have to make sure we enforce that. And Sault Ste. Marie Police Services has been clear that they are going to enforce that. So what we're asking people, and the sacrifice we're asking people to make, is learn about COVID-19, learn about the restrictions that you have to follow as a citizen, and then learn about what we're asking you to do as recommendations, and we're asking you to follow them. We're not asking for significant sacrifices here. We're asking people to stay at home and minimize their social interaction. The best way we get through this quickly is if we all follow the same set of rules. And the reality is, if we don't pass this virus along to each other, the virus will die. The virus is very contagious virus. So it doesn't take much effort or much interaction to pass it along. So we have to minimize those things.
That again was an interview that I did today with Mayor Christian Provenzano. There are several more questions that we did ask him, such as his initial action plan from when he took over this term, and how drastically his action plan has had to change. He has the answers for that. He also has some more information about the homeless shelter that we were discussing when they rented out for $1 the old seniors home for the overflow of homeless individuals to go into. So we have a lot more coming up after the commercial break. We are going to throw to a commercial right now, and we'll see you in a couple minutes. Welcome back. Well, we are going to dive into a Trumpitis right now. Yesterday we were talking about the homeless people in Las Vegas and how they put them in parking lots, and we just realized there is a Trump hotel down the road.
There is too.
Way to go, Prez.
Yes, and other news with him. Thankfully, not our president. Twitter. Love Twitter because the world is endless on there. I mean, there's so much. And if you're on there long enough, you get into the dark side of Twitter,
which I just did.
Trump is now trending on Twitter, but it's not just his name. It's hashtag Trumpdemic. So that is great, and it's trending in Canada. So it just kind of, you can see where we're at right now with Trump and the Americans. I mean,
Trumpdemic. Well, there's a reason why it's trending in Canada as well, because there is a story tied to Canada and 3M and Trump, and your man Chris Oldcorn has the answers to that. Over to you, Chris.
Thank you very much. Yes, our good friend south of the border, Donald Trump. He has tweeted out that he wants to basically take over 3M and say that they can't ship any medical supplies to Canada. That all has to stay in America. Well, Donald Trump, at his State of the Union address, got up and said, America will never be a socialist country. Well, when you try and take over a private business and say what they can and cannot do, that's called nationalization, which is also known as socialism. So maybe you need to learn about the free market, and also you might want to be nice to your northern neighbor in case you need stuff from us. Now, we just had our Chief Medical Officer of Public Health in Ontario hold a press conference with two other professors of public health. The numbers are both good and bad. What we did learn was that if we had not made any interventions in terms of staying at home or self-isolating when you return from elsewhere, and now our whole stay-at-home orders for basically for everyone except for people who are in essential jobs or going out for essential products like food and medicine and so on, we could have seen upwards of 300,000 cases of COVID-19 in Ontario. Given our current interventions, they're predicting that we'll have somewhere around 80,000 cases. So that is a great reduction there. Now, we could have anywhere from up to 2 years, they said, because there could be multiple waves of COVID-19. We are in the first big wave, but it is possible we could get a second or a third wave over the next 18 months to 2 years. However, during that time period, we have greatly reduced the amount of deaths that they are expecting. Had we done nothing, their models expected us to lose basically 100,000 people could have died. Given the interventions that both the provincial and federal governments have done, we are now looking at only 3,000 to 15,000 deaths from COVID-19. That is a very good positive sign. However, the real concern we have is with our seniors. Right now in Ontario, we are seeing 16% of the people over the age of 80 who get COVID-19 are passing away. For people who are 70 years old, we're seeing a 10% mortality rate as well. Now the good news is that our mortality rate amongst our over 80 population is 16%, whereas the international average is 20%. Now there could be a couple reasons for that. One is we have a lower smoking rate than other countries such as Italy, for example, and China. So that could play a factor in that. Now I'm going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. So just to lighten the mood up a little bit here before we end for the rest of the day. Actually, we do want to say, though, that the premiere is coming on at 2 o'clock. We will be streaming the premiere live. Just to remind you, was changed. It was 1:30. It was 12:30.
Lots of changes going on today.
So that's why we're kind of throwing stuff together.
Forgot one thing. I was actually at when the Trump baby was blown up over in the UK. I don't know if some of you remember this, but we're going to throw a picture up on the screen. But yes, I know a couple people that may or may not have been involved in the blowing up of this beautiful balloon, which flew all over the UK. And then it also flew in the US, because after Trump came back from the UK, they went and flew it at the Mexican border, which was fantastic because they flew it on the Mexican side, so the US government could do nothing about it. Back to the desk.
You know, that balloon Trump is not quite orange enough, though.
No. Need to put a few more Cheetos on that one.
Yeah, he needs to bathe in some Cheeto juice. Okay, so
Tang.
Tang, remember Tang? Who didn't love Tang? It's like the McDonald's juice that you got, you know? It wasn't orange juice. You didn't know what it was, but it was delicious.
Yes.
It was.
Quickly, we want to talk about, you know, I realized that this whole COVID-19 thing, I really had no life before because it hasn't really affected me. I go to work and I go home.
Yeah, same.
Like, I don't know. I think, you know, there's a case of that going on. But there are people out there that really love to go to dance clubs. So there is a solution. What's the solution?
Club Q. Or online dance parties.
Online dance parties. You go on YouTube, you dance it, you do Zoom, have everybody in.
In Zoom, you can have up to 1,000 people on a Zoom conference.
I don't know.
Isn't that
1,000
crazy?
people? Who the heck knows 1,000?
I don't. But I mean, I have no problem dancing with 1,000 people, though.
Me neither. And like we said earlier, little yummy, yummy, yummy to Justin Bieber. So again, just wanted to remind you that we will have more of the mayor's interview next week, and to stay tuned for the premiere at 2 o'clock. He will go over the data upload that they want to share from Colette
And Danny Dupuis.
And Chris, we would like to wish you a great weekend. Be safe, Sault Ste. Marie.
See you back on Monday.
Have a great weekend.